Hey everybody, welcome to Peak Life. I'm Jim Hazel, and today we're going to talk about bariatric surgery and weight loss surgery. With us now is Dr. Adam Myers, 6 feet safely to my left. And Dr. Myers, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
You bet, you bet. So, bariatric surgery, and it's weight because of obesity, right? Or can you clarify some more of that?
Sure.
Get us into this.
Absolutely. So I'm a metabolic surgeon, and I perform operations that are intended to improve a patient's metabolic health. These are commonly referred to as weight loss operations, or another term that's frequently used, only to add confusion, is bariatric surgery. So bariatric surgery, metabolic surgery, and weight loss surgery are all the same thing, and they're all intended to treat obesity-associated diseases due to excess weight and improve patients' quality of life, resolve disease processes, and increase life expectancy.
So under that umbrella of weight management and obesity, I know the term is kind of used for a lot of things. Obesity also means you can have other diseases, right?
Absolutely. So obesity is a very, very broad term, all right? So obesity in its most basic form is a term that we use in the medical community to describe a state in which a patient has an excess amount of body fat. As a result, we expect that excess amount of body fat to result in disease processes that are associated with that. This can be hypertension, diabetes, sleep apnea, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and the list goes on and on. We also know that this state of obesity, which again is a broad term because obesity can mean a body mass index of 30 anywhere to a body mass index of 100, this term is also affiliated with risk of other disease processes like cancer down the road.
Wow.
So,
clarify a little bit about what body mass index, what those numbers mean.
So some of us are familiar with it, but this is a relative measure of our weight with respect to our height. So being 200 pounds at 5 feet 0 inches tall is different than being 200 pounds at 6 feet 0 inches tall, right? So it is a way that we will measure somebody's weight with respect to their height to determine, are they at a critical weight where their weight is now going to result in additional disease processes, also known as obesity.
Okay, and then bariatric metabolic surgery. How do you do that?
It's a great question, and it's a very broad question. So
not all afternoon, but give us the quick.
You bet, absolutely. If you let me talk about it all day, I would. So metabolic surgery or weight loss surgery or bariatric surgery, there's a subset of operations which we utilize that will result in significant caloric restriction for our patients. And additionally, we achieve a special type of neurohormonal effect which allows patients to lose weight quicker and more effectively than ever before, significantly more weight than with diet and exercise alone, and more importantly than anything else, it gives patients the ability to maintain that weight loss long term, which is a common problem when patients try to lose weight with diet and exercise alone.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I know there's been a lot of advancements, but how dangerous is it, or how safe is it?
That's an excellent question. So metabolic weight loss surgery is very safe. Now, of course, surgery always comes with risks, but those risks right now do not exceed the risk of living with obesity itself. So the benefits of surgery certainly outweigh the risks, and surgery itself is very, very well tolerated and very safe.
Gotcha. So yet, obviously, the other diseases are more deadly than the actual surgery, is what you mean, basically.
Of course.
Right.
And I'm not saying there's no risk associated with surgery, but when we look at this from a global perspective, the risk of living with obesity is significantly greater than the risk of undergoing surgery for obesity.
Okay, here's one, the term patient pathway. I've heard that before, not sure exactly, but I assume it's like the process or the way you work through this.
Absolutely. There's part of it is process, and part of it is also just ensuring that we offer comprehensive solutions to patients' metabolic health. So weight loss surgery itself is not a solution, right? It's part of a process, adopting a healthier lifestyle, making dietary changes, and making some significant lifestyle changes and incorporating exercise as well. So when we talk about pathway, we are talking about some steps that are necessary to get to surgery, okay? So again, surgery itself is not a solution. It's more so that it is part of a comprehensive approach to metabolic health in which patients undergo psychological testing, they undergo dietary counseling, and they go through a number of educational courses prior to undergoing weight loss surgery so that we can ensure success long term.
I know you touched base on this, but I'm going to want it to be clear. What other diseases does bariatric surgery cure?
So it treats all of the diseases that are directly associated with obesity. The most known are, I refer to them as the big three: hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and sleep apnea. But there are a number of other disease processes that are extremely tied to obesity. We look at degenerative joint disease. We look at polycystic ovarian syndrome, which frequently results in infertility. We look at cardiac disease. We also know that obesity is heavily associated with your risk of developing cancer, and a number of cancers, your risk for developing those will go down dramatically after weight loss surgery.
Doctor, I know before we go, I know you've also touched base on this because everything's connected, it seems, but why would a patient choose the surgery, say, over trying to just lose weight on their own?
That's an excellent question. So, like I said earlier, obesity is an extremely broad term. Meeting the medical definition of obesity, which is a body mass index of 30 or higher, doesn't necessarily make someone a good candidate for surgery. We don't start talking about metabolic weight loss surgery until we reach a BMI of 35 with an associated comorbid condition or a BMI of 40. That doesn't mean that patients shouldn't be looking for metabolic weight loss solutions if they're overweight but don't make those criteria for surgery. So fortunately, we are very fortunate to have a full comprehensive metabolic weight loss program in which we also have obesity medicine specialists who specifically specialize in non-surgical weight loss as well.
Okay. So that could be a part of the pathway, is what you're saying.
It absolutely can. And it is not uncommon that patients have tried those measures with our obesity medicine specialists first, and then they look towards surgery. Surgery is typically best for patients who meet definition of severe obesity and for patients who have been unable to successfully lose weight and then maintain that weight loss on their own.
Right.
Patients who come to me can typically lose weight with diet and exercise. That's not the issue. My patients are very motivated and they're very dedicated to what they're doing. The problem is that the ability to maintain weight loss, specifically more than 50 pounds, is extremely limited. Roughly 4% of patients who can achieve that kind of weight loss on their own will be able to maintain it long term.
Okay.
Surgery evens the playing field for those patients. It allows them to lose a greater amount of weight, and it allows them to maintain that weight loss long term.
That's fascinating.
Yep.
And to find out more, I know there's an additional website other than ChesapeakeRegional.com. Tell us what that is.
Yep. So our Metabolic Weight Loss Center, which includes both our metabolic weight loss medical options as well as our surgical options, is located at ChesapeakeWeight.com. And at that site, you can find both information about our surgical program as well as our medical weight loss program.
ChesapeakeWeight.com.
Correct.
And how can you forget that? Okay. Hey, thanks for coming by, Dr. Myers. That was fascinating. And please come and see us again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Hey, that's all we have for Peak Life right now. Y'all stay safe. Be careful out there. Wear your mask if the pandemic is still with us. And we'll see you next time.